Hello, hello, and welcome to our show, Conversations with Lady T, where we bring guests on our show to talk about issues and topics that matter. Get your China teacup and enjoy the show. Hello, hello, and welcome to our show, Conversations with Lady T. And this morning we're having an Orange Spice So Nice black tea. Absolutely delicious. Black tea is filled with lots of antioxidants, but the tea experience is what is great for you. It helps you to relax, unwind, and have great conversations. And today I have a beautiful guest, Hipatia Lopez.
Hello.
She is an entrepreneur, inventor of this beautiful equipment here that you'll be talking about. So, Hipatia, just tell us, your journey of how you started this.
Hi, Sharon. First of all, thank you for having me. Appreciate it. My journey started many years ago over the kitchen, believe it or not. We're making a lot of empanadas because me and my family, we host Thanksgiving and Christmas. So it was just complaining in the kitchen, and I said, there's got to be a way for this to occur faster. And then I started dreaming about it. I literally couldn't go to sleep. I was just thinking about it 24/7.
Wow.
And I sketched it, and then from that moment on, I decided to let me go contact a lawyer and see if I can get it patented and stuff. So it's been I had to hold the secret for about a year until it got patented, yeah.
What are some of the obstacles that you may have occurred during the way?
Yeah, basically when I did contact a lawyer, and I told you I had sketched it because I'm not a good drawer, he had a architect cousin, so he helped me put it really to life on paper.
Wow.
As it started coming to life on paper, I was beyond excited, and I'm like, oh my gosh, no. Hopefully it goes through. And when it did go through, which took a year.
It took a whole year?
A whole year, yeah.
Now, is that the average time that it takes?
I think a minimum is probably a year.
Okay, wow.
Depending on what kind of patent you're going to get, because there's a design patent and a utility patent. So mine is the design patent.
Right.
And then after that, I had to find manufacturing companies.
And
that was a mission. That was a mission.
That was hard.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, because it wasn't my cup of tea.
Right.
Basically.
Right.
So I had to find everything out, and I wanted to be done in the United States. I had so many things that I wanted to occur. So sometimes, your plan doesn't occur as
exactly as planned.
Yeah. So, but it went well. I met a few who helped me and told me, this is what you have to do.
Okay.
And right now it was supposed to be made. The first prototype was plastic.
Okay.
But unfortunately it failed.
Oh, wow.
Because the teeth, if you see
strong
here.
enough?
Yeah, it wasn't strong for the dough. So when you press down, it would curve in and break and stuff.
Wow.
But yeah. And through him, he helped me find a manufacturer in China.
Okay.
So it's exciting. It takes a while for it to come over and stuff.
I can imagine.
Yeah, but when I finally had it in my hand, I was like, oh my God.
You were excited.
Yeah, I went to companies, other empanada, restaurants.
Right.
Yeah. And I just literally walked into the restaurant and I said, would you mind trying this out? I'll be back in a week, and just write whatever your thoughts on.
Right.
And that's what happened. And like 2 of the stores actually didn't want to give it back to me because I said I was going to get it.
Right.
And they're like, no, I love it. I used it for something else too, for mashing potatoes and plátanos. So I was like, no, as soon as it's 100% on the market, I'll come back and I'll give it to you.
Right.
So, and that's exactly what I did there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. And I'm sure, to come up with something, just to invent something, I think is extremely difficult. But as people say, if you can find a need, and you found the need.
Right.
You guys love empanadas, and it was just difficult, like you said, using the fork takes so much time.
Yeah.
But, to invent something is really great. And the process that you go through, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's a learning experience, but it's so worth it.
Yeah, I can imagine. I can imagine. So now tell me, where are these sold right now?
Right now, the physical store would be Chef Central, Route 17 in Paramus.
Oh, nice.
Online, it's Uncommon Goods,
okay,
which I love that store. There's also Baked Deco and Mex Grocer. Mex Grocer is like a Mexican supermarket.
Right, wow.
And Baked Deco, it's kind of a little bit crossed over also because other ethnicities are using it for apple turnovers.
Right.
Yeah,
a lot of Jamaicans, so I can see them using that a lot too.
Patties, probably.
Yes, for the patties, that's perfect. I mean, patties and empanadas basically are very similar.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely, can be used there too.
Yeah.
Wow, that's some fantastic news. So tell us some of the places that you network with so that you can actually, meet other people so you can get this into other stores.
Sure. Basically, when I decided to become an entrepreneur, I didn't know what that meant exactly. So a few friends who were entrepreneurs told me you have to go and network. You have to go to these events. I'm like, an event? I thought it was just not really to network. I thought it was just to have a social event, and I was very wrong. I went to my first event, which was with the statewide Hispanic Chamber of New Jersey.
Nice.
And it was so, it was like a natural high.
Right.
Meeting, and then you meet all these businesses.
Yes.
So that was great because they have the same drive as you.
Exactly.
But for a different cause. So I was just like, oh my gosh, where have I been? So from that moment on, I just started kind of trying to see which events I would like to go to and, what other organizations I want to become part of.
Yes.
So
no, that's important because you never know who you're going to meet.
Yep.
And then it's always great to be around like-minded people as well,
right?
Because they encourage you. They can refer you.
They root for you, right?
Yeah. And sometimes it might not work at one event. That's the one thing when you're networking. Every event is not for everyone.
Correct.
So we have to kind of overview and see who's going to be there. Talk to other people. Find out how has it been for them.
Yeah. Their struggles. It's good to hear it because it's like me too.
I know. But one important thing that I forgot to talk about is how we met.
Yes.
So it was so exciting, that I got this letter that I was accepted to be part of the Small Business Summit that they had last year. Okay. And then they said, oh, you know what, there's another person from New Jersey. Would you like to meet her? And I was like, of course. Yeah. So then I get this email from you, and then so we decide, okay, we're going to meet on the train. Yes. And that was just awesome. So since then we've been friends and just supporting each other. Yeah. So tell us what your experience was for that trip when we went down there.
It was my first time, I think, in DC, as an adult. And it was exciting. So I was taking the train, and then I'm like, you're going to take the exact same train. So when we met, I was like, okay, at least I have somebody to talk about and see what their reviews are. And you were equally as excited. You're like, I have no idea exactly what we're going to get into, but it's going to be good. All the people there, I had a different type of feeling as opposed to going to the events because these are individuals from different states. Right. So they have different issues, different companies. Some companies we just learned about that we didn't even know.
Right, didn't know.
That they even did that. And I was like, oh my God, God bless them because they're really on a mission to help the world.
Yeah. Yes. And some of them really have some awesome ideas. That is very environmental. Yes. That's going to really help the environment.
Yeah, I came back and I can't stop bragging about it.
I know. Yeah. I know, but then it was also exciting just being with so many people. It was, I think, 200 to 250 of us that were there. So just putting our minds together, hearing different people's story, I think that was a whole lot of education and fun at the same time. Yeah. So,
and the White House, I was excited.
I know. A lot of people there that spoke that were really enlightening.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. I had a good time. Overall, I think if you get chosen or if you get, you're a small business, you might think, oh, I'm not big enough. Right. Go. Just go. I know. Because nobody ever was, maybe they are big right away, but you kind of take baby steps to being big.
It is, of course. Yeah. And some people it takes longer depending on what your business is. Right. Or how do you, if you get in touch with the right people. Because sometimes that's the key to our success. Yeah. That one person could take us up, way up. To be successful, so.
Right. And that's what we should do. I think we all, should build each other up.
Of course. Yeah. Of course. That's wonderful. So I see you have these delicious looking empanadas over there.
Yes, I made them. They're cheese. I made them last night. Okay. Basically, I just put mozzarella cheese in it. Okay. Everybody does it differently. Right. Mine are simple recipes. The cook in my family is my husband. Wow. So he normally would make, the chicken or the beef or the... Well, nowadays people eat it with shrimp and lobster, and you can shove anything in there. It's really delicious.
Wow. Those look beautiful.
Thank you.
Yep. Now, I also saw that you had some videos with your daughter making some empanadas. Yeah. How do you get your stuff out there in terms of like videos and things like that?
Social media. Okay. Social media to me is incredible. I went on... Same thing, always recommendation of a friend. Right. And I said, okay, let me give it a try, and I decided to stick with Empanada Fork because that's what I just ended up calling it. Okay. It's kind of just happened. I didn't really think so hard about it. But I got so many followers on Twitter, a little bit on Instagram now I'm starting to build up, but it's just the fact that they're just like, oh my God, you exist. What are you? And I'm like, at first they thought I was like an empanada. So I'll take a dozen calling me. And I'm like, really?
And that would sell too. Right. Food sells.
I'm like, I don't sell empanadas, but that's good to know. Right. So I started linking people to empanadas. Like, because because you know, there's some food trucks would contact
Right.
me, and so and I'm like, what area are you from? I'm like, okay, South Jersey. So if they
Yes.
contact me, I'm like, oh, we should go to this or this or this.
Right. Okay.
So why not, you know,
Wow.
to help
Yeah.
them with their business too.
Yeah, and like you said, social media is really the place. It's free,
Yeah.
and I think you should utilize it. Now, which ones do you think work for you the best in terms of client, getting new clients or
I would say definitely Twitter,
Twitter?
Instagram. Now is starting. I'm starting to cross it over because I
Okay.
like to also post like my my
Right,
kids.
of course.
I'm like when I'm rooting for them all the time, so I can't kind of shake that and just be
Right.
just Empanada 4.
Right. Have to have balance, right?
Yeah. Facebook to me for some reason is not as much, which I know for some companies it works. It's the opposite.
Right.
So I always still struggle on Facebook a little bit, but I post.
Yeah.
Pinterest is okay.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. And you?
Yeah, well, I mean, I use all of them. I think every platform is important. Even if you're not getting clients, it's
Correct.
getting the brand out there, getting trust so people can
Recognition.
know who you are.
Yeah.
So I think, all of them, I believe that you should utilize them all. But of course, if one is working more in terms of making money, then you definitely have to, use that more. But I
Right.
think using all of them is good for your brand. So why don't you tell us about like the chamber that you're part of, the Hispanic Chamber?
Okay, the Hispanic Chamber is a group of individuals. I have Carlos and Luis who have supported me since day one.
I love Louis.
Oh, that's right, we have him in common as well.
Yes.
Yes, he's everywhere.
He
Luis
is
is everywhere. He's in New York. I
everywhere.
met him in New York in one of the
Oh,
events.
really? Okay.
Yeah, when I find out they're from Jersey, I was just like, oh my
Wow.
gosh, me
Oh, so
too.
they had one of the Hispanic events in New York?
No, I think he ran or he
something else?
became part of the Latism
Oh, okay. Wow,
conference
he's
that was
part of something else.
Yes. Yes.
Wow.
So through them, they basically, I've gone to events where, like Goya's been there, for instance. They helped me
Yes.
introduce myself to Goya.
Nice.
And like you said, it's sometimes who you can know and, I just want to tell them about it. And then if anything happens, fine. But their events help in the sense of the networking, if there anything that they think occurs in the sense of, okay, empanadas. He's like, I thought of you, and this
Right.
guest, blah, 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 and I'm just like, on it.
Okay,
like,
great.
so I think that's good because I thought maybe, like the chamber, especially like the president, you would maybe see him once. I thought,
Right, okay.
they're
He's
so
always out
involved.
there.
Everybody
Yes,
in there is so
yes.
involved, and I'm just like, oh, that's so good. That's
Yeah.
why I want to participate. I'm
Right.
their social media ambassador.
Yes,
I
I
do it with
know.
pleasure
Yes.
because I think that what they really mean and what they give out is much more than what I.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I totally love their chamber.
Yeah, I see them a lot as well, and they're really, I think it's a great organization. Anytime I've gone to you guys' events, I feel part of the family, even though I'm not a member.
Right.
I've done some of the events too through Luis,
Yeah.
because I've known him for years through other organizations, and I'm like, you're at this organization, you're with that he's with so many organizations. He's really a good guy. He's all for the small business.
Yeah.
And just a very humble gentleman. I love him. So thank you again, Hipatia, for coming on the show. It was such a pleasure having you. All the best to you. And I know we're going to see each other on social media and at a lot of other events.
Yes,
so
I'm
thanks
sure.
again for coming on.
You're very welcome. Thank you for having me.